Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today we're diving into a scandal that has tongues wagging across South Africa, a story that mixes police leadership, massive sums of money, courtroom drama, and yes, even a so-called intelligence report that never existed. You can't make this stuff up. But apparently, someone tried. This week, the Pretoria High Court dragged former National Police Commissioner General Khehla Sitole back into the headlines. And not for the reasons a police chief would want. At the center of it all is a R580 million dispute, a forensic data company, and Sitole's alleged use of a phantom intelligence report to wriggle out of a payment agreement. Now, I don't know about you, but when you hear the words R500 million and non-existent intelligence, you know you're in for one of those classic South African scandals that could only play out in our politics. So here's how it all unfolded. The South African Police Service had a contract with a forensic data firm. The job? Providing critical data analysis services, the kind of work that's supposed to help fight crime, track criminal networks, and strengthen the justice system. You'd think this would be straightforward: the company delivers, the police pay, everyone goes home. But no, this is South Africa, and contracts in SAPS often end up in court rather than in the crime lab. When the company demanded its money, Sitole refused. His reason? He claimed there was a classified intelligence report proving that the deal was somehow flawed or problematic. To many in government, that might have sounded like a solid justification. After all, if the intelligence community says something is dodgy, you usually don't argue. But then came the twist: the court discovered that no such report ever existed. It was like citing a ghost as a witness. And this wasn't just a small oversight, it suggested deliberate deceit, a top police official invoking national security to duck accountability. Think about what that means. If the allegations are proven, Sitole didn't just misuse paperwork. He effectively fabricated intelligence, a move that weaponizes secrecy for personal or political ends. In a democracy, that's dangerous. Intelligence is meant to protect citizens, not to serve as a convenient shield for questionable decisions. And of course, Sitole's name is not new to controversy. Many South Africans will remember the so-called Nosrec grabber saga, where it was revealed that SAPS leadership attempted to procure a surveillance device worth hundreds of millions ahead of the ANC's elective conference in 2017. That scandal raised concerns about whether police resources were being used to monitor criminals or politicians. Now, years later, we are seeing echoes of that same pattern: questionable deals, huge price tags, and intelligence being dragged into the mud. The High Court hearings this week reopened those wounds. Lawyers for the forensic data company accused Sitole of outright deceit, saying he abused his position as commissioner to avoid paying a lawful settlement. They painted a picture of a man willing to manipulate official channels to protect himself and his allies. And honestly, when you look at the numbers, R580 million, you begin to understand why so much effort might have gone into dodging responsibility. Let's pause here for a moment. R580 million is not pocket change. It's money that could have gone into building police stations, upgrading forensic labs, or simply putting more boots on the ground in communities plagued by crime. Instead, it has been tied up in a contract dispute because a top official allegedly thought a fake intelligence document was a clever way to cancel a deal. South Africans are left shaking their heads, asking, is this incompetence, corruption, or both? Legal experts have been clear: this case is bigger than one contract. It could expose a deeper rot in SAPS contract management, where deals are made, unmade, and manipulated with little oversight. If top brass can cancel a R500 million agreement on the basis of a non-existent report, what else might have slipped through the cracks during Sitole's tenure? How many other decisions were justified by documents that were never seen, never verified, and perhaps never real? This scandal also raises the issue of trust. SAPS is already struggling with public confidence. Communities often feel the police are absent, under-resourced, or in some cases complicit in crime. Now add to that the image of a commissioner faking intelligence to dodge a bill. It becomes harder and harder for citizens to believe in the system. And when the public doesn't trust the police, law and order begin to crumble at the foundation. Let's not forget, Sitole's early exit as police commissioner in 2022 came after months of pressure from President Cyril Ramaphosa, who cited concerns over his ability to stabilize SAPS leadership. Many suspected that there was more to the story, that Sitole's exit wasn't just about differences in approach, but about deep fractures in how the police were being managed. This court case now adds fuel to those suspicions, suggesting that accountability issues went right to the top. And here's the ironic part: intelligence is supposed to be the most reliable arm of policing. It's secret, it's sensitive, and it's supposed to guide the most important decisions in government. But in South Africa, we keep seeing intelligence used as a smokescreen, whether it was the failure to anticipate the July 2021 unrest, or scandals like this where so-called reports are waved around like magic wands. In this case, the wand wasn't just faulty. It didn't exist. As the legal battle unfolds, South Africans will be watching closely. Will the courts finally draw a line and say enough is enough? Will this case become the moment when SAPS contract management is reformed, or will it simply fade into the long list of corruption scandals that stretch from Khehla to Bosesa? Only time will tell. But what is clear is that this R580 million saga is more than a dispute over a check, it's a test of whether our justice system can hold powerful officials accountable. And yes, it's also a reminder of how absurd corruption can be. Imagine refusing to pay your rent and telling your landlord, "Sorry, my secret intelligence file says I don't have to." Then when they ask to see it, you admit it doesn't exist. Most of us would be laughed out of the room. But when you're the National Commissioner of Police, apparently you can run that line for years until a court finally calls your bluff. So here's the big picture. This case is about money, but it's also about integrity. If leaders at the highest level can manufacture documents, what example does that set for the officers on the ground? South Africa's criminal justice system is under strain, and scandals like this only make the burden heavier. If SAPS is to regain credibility, accountability has to start at the top. Otherwise, the culture of impunity will keep trickling down. As this story continues, we'll keep bringing you updates. And if there's one lesson here, it's that truth has a way of catching up, even with the most powerful. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want to stay informed about South Africa's political and legal drama, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Sitole will ever face real consequences? Or will this become another footnote in our long history of unfinished scandals? See you next time.